Good news for West Ham fans. Season ticket holders will not be facing a price increase. The club have confirmed they're freezing prices ahead of next season. But more importantly, the concession discounts are back. A year ago, when the club released their season ticket information ahead of this season, they informed the fan base they were removing concession discounts for various bands around the London Stadium. They faced a backlash. It didn't go down well, but this week the club have confirmed they are reinstating the concession discounts for various bands in London Stadium. This is good news. It's excellent news. That's what we're going to be discussing today. If you're new to the Hammers Chat YouTube channel, please do subscribe. And if you're not sure if you've subscribed, just double check, because you might not be. And also do drop a like on the video as well by clicking the thumbs up. Both things are free. Take you 2 seconds and help out the channel. Plus, it makes me quite happy, just like this news did. But I want to go back 2 years ago, 2023. The club did something only one other club did. West Ham United and Aston Villa increased the age for the concession discounts from 65 to 66. And they pointed at the government and said, well, they're increasing the retirement age. We're just going in line with that. It didn't go down well. And a lot of West Ham fans got an unexpected and unpleasant surprise, because those approaching the age of 65, expecting their discount for the next season, got told at very short notice, you won't be getting it. You've got to wait another 12 months. Last year, they decided to take the piss even more, and that's what they were doing, because the club announced that those who wanted a concession discount would have to get a season ticket in bands 5 or 6. Now, I'm going to be fair and honest here, it was for new season ticket holders only. Existing season ticket holders that had a concession discount were still applicable to have that discount for what would be this season. But if you were a new season ticket holder and you were wanting a concession discount, and remember, this isn't just the elder, it's the kids as well. It's not just the generation that's been there watching West Ham United for years, it's the next generation. So both sets of age brackets were impacted by this news. And you were only going to get a discount in bands 5 and 6. First of all, availability is small. These areas, these bands for these tickets are small. There's not loads of tickets available. So first of all, availability was scarce. So if you wanted a concession discount, you might not have got one anyway. And second of all, the elder side of the discount, so those that have been around a little while in their 70s and 80s, but those that deserve the discount, in my opinion, because they've stuck through West Ham thick and thin, I assume has given thousands of pounds to the football club over the years, especially when they needed it most. They were the ones getting punished. But if they wanted a discount, they'd have to get a ticket in band 5 or 6. Band 5 or 6 is inaccessible to a lot of the elderly West Ham United fans. There's a lot of stairs to climb. It's a very steep incline as well, and it's not the best view. So if your eyesight's not brilliant, you can't sit there. And if you're not fit enough to travel numerous stairs up and down for a game of football, it's not, you can't sit there either. And it felt incredibly harsh, but it also felt unjustified. It felt like a money grab by West Ham United. Now, that money that the club generated from the additional price, basically a price increase, was round about, roughly, it's been touted around about 500, 600, maximum £700,000 it was worth for West Ham over the course of the season. So by dismissing the concessions, that's how much money extra West Ham would raise, around about £500,000. They faced a backlash. The first protest, there was a petition ongoing immediately. It has to date amassed over 23,000 signatures from West Ham fans. But not only that, there was other protests as well. We've had the black balloon protests throughout the season, and it is visually impactful. Whenever you see highlights from West Ham match of the day or whatever, Arsenal, we played Arsenal just last week. You see footage of people celebrating, the fans celebrating, the players celebrating. There's black balloons being tossed around in the away end. We also had the Betway Cup boycott, which was by Chris Mills, who's a Hammers Chat subscriber, a Hammers Chat fan, who's been down the boats throughout the season, handing out black balloons to people on the boats to take them into London Stadium, to inflate them and toss them in the air as the players emerge from the tunnel. But he was the one that said, well, why don't we all boycott the Betway Cup? And a lot of people got on board with it. Now, through freedom of information, Sean Whetstone went and got the attendance figures, and it was 16,000 tickets. 16,000 people attended the Betway Cup, the lowest attendance we've had ever It worked. And out of those 16,000, to be fair and to apply context, a lot of those tickets were free. A lot of those tickets were given to the local community, which is something the club have got to do anyway. It's in their rental agreement. So West Ham fans stayed away from the Betway Cup, and it was pleasing to see that. It was pleasing to see it. But throughout the season, it's been campaign after campaign, led by Hammers United. On the bridge, every single game, they were there with their banners, and often, more than not, joined by fans of the away team as well. And Hammers United would join the home team when travelling away with West Ham. There's been a real unity from Premier League fan bases here, and it's needed, because it isn't just West Ham United that's impacted by this. There's other clubs have done the same thing. Spurs have Save Our Seniors. West Ham have had Save Our Concessions. There's been a lot of clubs battling, a lot of fan bases battling with their clubs. And some fan bases have won. West Ham United are one of them. But not every fan base have. There are clubs out there putting their prices up ahead of next season, not going back. Now, the club got it wrong 12 months ago. The mistake was made. I'm not going to say, oh, it doesn't matter anymore. It does. They took the piss a year ago, but they found out a little bit. And the fan base have won this, and I'm pleased to see the club hold their hands up, admit their error. They haven't worded it like that, but for me, reinstating the concession discounts is them admitting their mistake. And I'm a big one for people having the ability to change their mind. I think I keep saying it's a very powerful thing to do. A lot of people don't like admitting they got things wrong. They'd rather just double down and insist they're right, even though it's staring them in the face that they were wrong. To change your mind is a very powerful thing. To admit a mistake is a very powerful thing. And I think the club have done that. Now, for those that are unsure, a year ago, as I said, they took away the concession discounts for new season ticket holders this season. So what they're doing ahead of next season is, obviously, if you're an existing season ticket holder, you've got that discount already. If you're a new season ticket holder, you decide today you're going to get one, and you apply for, because of your age, you can get the younger discount for your kid maybe, or an elderly, and you can get the senior discount. You can get that discount now from bands 1 through to 6. It covers the vast majority of the stadium. There are 1966 clubs, seats in either stand, the Billy Bond stand and the West stand. It's as close to hospitality as you're going to get without hospitality. I don't mind those areas not having the discounts. They didn't have them in the first place. When we moved in, those areas did not have concession discounts. I'm okay with that. It leaves 90-something% of the stadium available for concession discounts. This is good news. It's a win for the fan base, and it's a good move by the club. My only query, if Karen Brady was sat in the room, I'd say, excuse me, miss, I've got a question. Well, excuse me, Baroness Brady, I have a question. And that would be, what about those fans? So a year ago, there would have been some fans that still purchased a season ticket holder in a band that wasn't applicable for a discount. So let's just say a family with 3 generations of granda, middle-aged son, someone my age, and the grandson. So 2 people that would apply for a discount. They picked up 3 season tickets in band 3, paid full whack because the discount wasn't available, and they want to renew ahead of next season. Do they get the discount ahead of next season? I'm assuming the answer is yes, and I'm hoping the answer is yes. It wasn't confirmed by the club. Now, the one thing that it does stand out, it does say in the statement by the club, which is that we need to look at the figures, the discounts going forward. And I hope it's fair going forward. The club have made a mistake. Now, the other thing I will add, and this is where I don't like misinformation coming out, because it was put out last week or so, or 2 ago, that the club would be increasing season ticket prices up to 5% and the concessions wouldn't be coming back. That's all very well thinking the club won't do it. I didn't think the club would do it. Okay, I didn't think they would. But when I seen it getting put out there as factual, I thought, oh, hang on a minute. Because someone told me a couple of weeks ago that they were very confident that the concession discounts would be reinstated. And that gave me hope, because of the person that told it to me. I thought, okay, this is good, this is promising. So when it came out that they definitely wouldn't be reinstated, I got a little bit worried, but that's why I didn't do a video about it, because I thought, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And I'm just relieved to see that the club have gone back on it. Because there's 29,000 people have not renewed at London Stadium. Sean's very good at collating figures like this. He did an article a couple of weeks ago. So basically, every season ticket holder, when it comes to renewal time, how many people don't renew, add it all up since we moved in, and it's 29,000. It doesn't mean it's 29,000 different people. Some people might have had a season ticket, didn't renew, then came back, then didn't renew again. That accounts for 2. And I'm going to give the club a little bit of the benefit of the doubt here. It's a big number. Originally, we had 50,000 season ticket holders when we first moved into the London Stadium. It's increased to 55,000 at one point, and it's dropped to 48,000 at one point. But 29,000 people haven't renewed when you add all the figures together. And the benefit of the doubt, I'm going to give the club a little, I say benefit of the doubt, I'm going to knock a lot of that number off myself because of COVID. Because COVID was a very difficult time, and I think we look back now, and I think we underestimate how difficult it was for some people. I've got 1 or 2 friends that, because of COVID, they did not renew because they just didn't know what the landscape was going to be like when going back to football. They weren't comfortable or confident going to a football match when COVID was still a bit of a thing. So they didn't renew because of the COVID situation. It financially impacted a lot of people, health-wise it impacted a lot of people, and I think that would have had a real say in those not renewing. And when you look at the figures broken down, 2021, I think it was 8,000 people didn't renew that summer. I think you can put a large part of that down to COVID. So even if you take that 8,000 off, and that's where I'm giving the club the benefit of the doubt, because there would have been people that didn't renew for other reasons. Let's take it down to 20,000. We're taking nearly a third off here. That's still a lot of people. 20,000 West Ham fans have decided not to renew and walked away from the London Stadium. That is a huge, huge number. The club have got to do everything they can to keep West Ham fans going to that stadium for A, the atmosphere, but B, the long-term security of the football club. I am adamant the reason we sell tickets for games at the minute, this season, roughly 10,000 people don't turn up a game. So the club announced it's sold out, and it is sold out, but 10,000 of those people with tickets do not attend the match. That's a big number. One that I imagine is quite common in quite a few clubs across the Premier League. Not so much Liverpool, but I'd imagine Manchester City would be posting similar figures, for example. But I'm adamant that a lot of people go to that London Stadium to watch Premier League football. They don't support West Ham. There are away fans in that ground, but there's also fans who don't support either team. So when we play Leicester City, I wouldn't be surprised there's people in there that don't support West Ham, they don't support Leicester, they just want a cheap game of Premier League football. We've all done it with not so much Premier League football, but non-Premier League football. We go to non-league games, we go to games abroad where you don't support either of them, you're just there for a game of football. And I think you can rely on that as business, you can rely on that whilst you're in the Premier League. We've been warned this season, which is you can get into a relegation battle. We can fall down that trap door. We're not 100% guaranteed not to get relegated. And if we do, those 29,000 people that have walked away, some of those will be the Premier League fans, but a lot of them will be West Ham United fans. Those are the ones you're going to need back. And I think the concession discount is a step in the right direction that might get some of them back. But we can't stop here. We've got to keep going. The concession discounts are back. Brilliant. Let's move on to the stadium. There's a couple of quick wins. Let's get the wall down. There are fan groups working with the club right now trying to improve atmosphere. What can they do to get those West Ham fans back? Some of them won't come back. Some of them are gone, and they're gone forever. Some of them are gone until David Sullivan sells up. They might come back then. I've got a couple of friends who are in that boat. While Sullivan's at the club, they will not come back. When he's gone, they might do. I don't know. I can't speak for them. But what I do know is they won't come back when he's in charge. So there is ways of getting them back. And I just think this concession discount is a step in the right direction. And well done to the fan base for this. Well done to everybody that did something. Whether you inflated one black balloon at one game, you've had your part. Whether you've signed a petition, I hope everybody has, by the way. I hope everybody signed it. The one thing that disappointed me this season was I've seen some people with an appetite for protesting against Sullivan when he wouldn't sack Lopetegui than there was when the concession news came out. And over the course of the season, we get told to shut up. Myself and Frankie did a podcast not long ago at the start of the season about concession. People said, what's the problem? It's more expensive to attend. I think it was, I don't know the American, but it's like, oh, it costs this much to attend NFL in America. What's your problem? And I thought, well, what's that got to do with anything? I don't understand the relevance to some. It's not the same sport for the start, but there was maybe a little bit too much I'm all right, Jack, to some extent, in regards to the attitude towards concessions. And that was a bit sad. We can't have that. So if you haven't signed the petition, sign it now. Go sign it, please, because it might stop the club trying to do this again in the future. They've tried it. They didn't get away with it. The fan base stood up and we've won, and this is important, and we need to keep winning. But we need to keep on going. We need to keep. It doesn't stop here. This is just the first battle. There's more to be had to improve what's going on at the London Stadium. But this is a sign that the club are listening. It's a sign that the club are willing to change their mind, and it's a sign that the club are willing to implement things. And that's important. We've now got evidence that the club are listening to the fan base, which is brilliant. I've not always felt like that. When the news come out, I kid you not, I'll tell you exactly where I was, because Paul from Hammers United tried to ring me when the statement came out. But the other half's Nan isn't really well at the minute. She's in a nursing home. Her kidney's down to a 12% function. So we're at that period where we're waiting. It's not a nice place to be. End of life for someone. It's not nice. I was at the nursing home. Paul from Hammers United rang me. I couldn't answer it for obvious reasons. But he left me a voicemail. He said, I take it you've seen the news, blah, blah, blah. I hadn't. I had a look. It genuinely cheered me up. When I read the statement from West Ham, I thought, brilliant. This is a fantastic moment for the fan base. But like I said, well done to the club. It's through gritted teeth a little bit, because they shouldn't have done it in the first place. The worst thing is making a mistake. But the best thing to do once you've done that is admit your mistake and fix it. And I think that's what the club have done here. And that's good. And I'm just double checking all my notes to make sure I've covered everything I wanted to. And I have. So there you go. So it's good news for people like me who are season ticket holders. Prices are frozen. But it's excellent news that we've got our discounts back. There's that saying, isn't there? You support West Ham from cradle to grave. And it felt like the club were excluding the young and the old. Punishing them for whatever reason. Trying to just squeeze a little bit more cash out of us. And they've been told, no, you don't get to do that. Back down, and they have done. This is really good news. So anyway, if you're thinking about getting a season ticket for next season and you're the age of 66, you can get a discount now in bands 1 to 6. Brilliant. Well done to West Ham fans that played any part, whether you boycotted the Betway Cup, inflated a balloon, it doesn't matter what you've done, you've played your part. Well done. On to getting that wall down. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Please do drop a like on the video by clicking thumbs up, subscribing to Hammers Chat. Tomorrow we'll be live. Tomorrow. Shall we say 12 o'clock? 12 noon? Let's go live. 12 noon tomorrow. So if you're kicking around, come join me. What we've got today, we've got Crystal Palace, Millwall in the FA Cup. And then I'm going to be watching Frankfurt, Leverkusen, 5:30 kickoff for my Bundesliga fix this weekend. Right, catch you tomorrow.